Hi everyone, I'm super excited to show you this. After the rain, the garden really takes off. Focus on the beauty of your garden, the beauty of the earth, the beauty of nature. Stop worrying about the weeds. I cannot stress this anymore, but to say that there's a reason why these plants are growing, whether they're good or bad. If you want to pull them, you pull them. You pull the ones you don't like. But if you spend all of your time doing that, you're going to miss out on a lot of special things your garden has to offer. And in the past, over the years, trying to keep up with the Joneses, I spent more time pulling weeds than anything, just trying to make everything look prim and proper in the garden. And then all of a sudden, frost hits. And I haven't put out nearly as much in the garden as I had hoped. So how you spend your time is very important. You can grow a lot of things around weeds. Don't let weeds be the barrier that keeps you from putting out a good garden. And you know what? I just decided I'm not going to apologize for anything. If I have something out of place, we don't need to apologize. We just need to garden. We just need to tend to the plants. Mother Nature takes its course pretty much when you have rain that comes down and waters the vegetables and the fruits that you're growing, waters all the plants and keeps the soil moist. That right there has helped tremendously. I don't have to water for 2 days, I bet you, easily. But looky here, look at all the crabgrass. Now, how is that bothering this plant over here? This is a sugar pie, a smaller pumpkin. Those weeds are not doing any harm there, are they? I could spend a lot of money and cover all this up with straw or mulch. I could easily cover all this up. Yeah, I'm going to spend a lot of money and I'm a frugal channel. That would defeat the purpose, right? I mean, I could cover with cardboard and that paper that is supposed to work like cardboard. And I have some of that, by the way. I can do that. I can lay all that down. That's going to take some time to do. You know, I'd rather focus on planting seeds and direct plant care. You can pollinate yourself. If you don't have the insects, you can pollinate seeds. That's a male. Yeah, this is a zucchini plant, and that is a male flower. You just take a Q-tip and get some pollen off that little, I think it's called a stamen, and you go to a female flower that's opened up and pollinate by hand. I don't see one right now. But you know, when that happens, if the bees are not heavily on the plants, I want to take time to do things like this and to admire the growth of the plants. That's a female. But this is not a zucchini. This is a summer squash. So if I pollinate this, I want to make sure that I don't cross-pollinate with the zucchini. Yeah, if I want to be that strict about it, but what if they do pollinate together? What will that produce? Probably something amazing. So these can be pollinated, but I'm going to wait and see if the bees do it. Okay, we got plenty of time. These are big plants. Yeah, and they'll produce quite a bit of squashes. Yeah, this is very exciting. Looks like grass coming up. This is not grass, by the way. This is not grass. Let me tell you what it is. This is garlic chives. This keeps the bad bugs away to protect whatever might be coming up through here from bug damage. See that cucumber? Something could have already chomped on that by now, but maybe it didn't like the smell of the garlic chives. That's true. That's a true fact. Okay. And we're looking through here, and I don't know, do you think it's a hot mess? I kind of like it. Look at that rhubarb coming up. I think that's really cool. And the cabbages, and if there's weeds between them, so be it, you know. And we got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It seems to be happy if it's doing good. I'm not going to stress over it. I want to enjoy my summer. I don't want to stress over plants that are too close together or weeds. And good Lord willing, we're going to get some production here. Potatoes are growing here. And look, this is getting yellow. This is what's important. We're about ready for a harvest. And I did try to keep the weeds out because I don't want it to affect the growth of the potatoes. But would it matter if there's some weeds in between these two potato rows? I don't think so. I think we're going to get a good potato production. They're going to be all different sizes. These are yellow potatoes, tiny gourmet size, and some will be larger. And I like that. I like variety. I don't want them to be all the same size. I think it's cool if they're different sizes. So I got a dead flower right here. What difference does that make? How's that going to affect the growth of the other plants around it? I don't think so. We can let the small birds munch on them when they dried out, or we can do chop and drop method. You can have automatic mulch on the ground, automatic compost. See, that's what I'm working towards. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into trying to come back to the back of Eden. And, but you know, it can just sit here until I get around to it. This is the compost piles. And when I get around to it, and I did kind of turn this over the other day because what was on the bottom was a lot wetter than what was on the top. And I wanted it to get exposed to the sun. So the weeds, the roots from the weeds will die. We don't want those weeds to come back, but we want to use whatever they can produce for compost. So this is going to go back into the earth. And so is this. Look at all that lettuce that wilted. Yeah, from it bolted from the hot sun. I'm going to use that for compost. So we have a big, huge compost pile here that we can work on another time. We don't have to do it very often, but every once in a while you should turn it, and whatever's on the bottom that's soaking wet, turn it over and let it dry when the sun comes out. So the sun's not out right now, but when that happens, it will start to dry. And I will sort through what I can use for compost, the dirt for compost, and that has broken down to, it has all those nutrients, because I even threw some spinach in here, some parts of the spinach that we didn't eat from the harvest. Yeah, and boy, that's really going to enrich the soil. Okay, now do I care how it looks over here? I mean, yeah, we have some overgrowth. We have some, what you call a weed coming up, because I don't even know what it is. If you can identify that, let me know. It's a weed. Human perception is that it will look better if you remove that, and just maybe the Rose of Sharon will do better. But is it really bothering this? This Rose of Sharon is lucky to be bloomed at all. You know why? Because there's a shade tree right over here. Behind the privacy fences, a big oak tree shading this Rose of Sharon, but yet it's blooming. So something is going right. I thought they needed full sun. Hey, that's amazing. I'm looking at the growth that we see, and I'm looking at what God's green earth here and what He's provided. And I'm not going to focus. I decided I've stressed out enough about weeds. I'll get to them whenever I can. Maybe we'll do it before and after, and I'll get rid of some of these. I'll lay down some cardboard. There are times when weeds do cause problems, and they have for the blackberry bushes in particular. There's too much growth down there around the roots of the blackberry bushes. I need to get to the root of the matter. Now, in this case, I'm going to work on weeding and digging up whatever is behind it that might be causing it not to get the nutrients it needs. When the weeds are next to the roots of your vegetables and fruits that you're growing, you need to get rid of those weeds. Very carefully, don't uproot your plant in the process. But yeah, we have some blackberries coming on over here, I noticed. Well, that's good. And look, some have discoloration, probably from the hot sun, because we've had some hot weather and penetrating sun coming down. They're still edible. Look at it closely. If it's not fuzzy, it's not mold. Here's where I need to work on the weeds. So there is a time and place for pulling weeds. And this is the area right here I need to be pulling most of the weeds, or wherever I might see weeds next to a plant, like the tomato plant right here. Well, let's get that one. Let's get it by the roots if you can. I believe that was a dandelion, and they are perennials. But still, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it by the root though. There's annuals and there's perennial weeds, just like there are your herbs. You have some perennials, you have some annuals. This, I believe, I see these all the time, and I think that they're perennials. And I'll pull it just because it will make the garden look better, but it wasn't around anything that I really cared about. This is wild violet. We have way too many wild violets. It always happens after the rain. It's so refreshing, especially after the summer heat. And it rains and it feels good. But then it's always, you go and you see more weeds than ever coming up because of the rain. But look, they're easier to pull by the roots, aren't they? Gee whiz. Okay, I got it by the roots. That's wonderful. it's just human nature that we do want to do some cleanup. But it is an impossibility that I could go around killing every single weed. And do I want to go around laying paper everywhere or spending a whole lot of money on mulch or straw? Or maybe I'll just take some dead plants and lay them down like I did here, and this, maybe this will kill the weeds. Maybe I'll use weeds to kill weeds. Use dead weeds that the roots are completely dead and dried out over a period of 2 to 3 weeks. So I laid it back down, and that will kill the weeds underneath. So use what you have and you can save money. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Now this kale is doing good regardless. Now some plants, they do good regardless of the fact they have a ton of weeds next to their roots. Let's just get things in and get things in the right perspective. I guess I'm using the right word. I'm not really good with big words, but I'm trying to improve my speech here. But put things into perspective about how you want your garden to be. But if you focus too much on weeds, you won't get anything else done. I found that out from experience. Yeah. And do I want to see a bunch of paper lying around, a bunch of cardboard? We have some. We are working on that because we want the pumpkin plant, when it vines off, to have a place to go, not the grass. And then it's just not good for the vines to be into the grass. They get intertwined with the grass that's coming up, and that's not a good thing. So yeah, there are times you need to lay down cardboard, and that's what I'm starting. I was stubborn about it at first, but I'm going to be working on that. Okay, we're in the city, and we do most of our food comes from the store, but we are working on producing or creating a food forest, and we do plan on putting up a trellis eventually out back and growing grapes. And we plan on some small fruit trees, and there's lots of plans that we have, but these things take time. Whatever I put out may outlive me, and that's all right. It's all in God's hands. So let's just focus on the important things and not the things that are so irrelevant, not the things that are causing us so much stress and not bringing us joy in the process. Now, if you're a perfectionist and you want to work on your weeds, go for it. If you can balance everything out, and you're probably younger, you might be older and able to do it, older than me. I'm 63. Whatever you can do in your own time and whatever makes you happy is the most important thing. But I'm just saying, for me personally, I'm going to stop worrying about weeds. And I do get kind of loud and obnoxious at times, and I apologize. I'm in the city. It has been a rough place to live. It's a big city. It has changed over the years, and I don't feel sorry for me. Of course, I'd rather be in the country, but I trying to recreate or create something special here. Maybe go back to what it was like, let's say, 500 years ago. It was probably a forest. I can't put out an actual forest here because I don't have the room to grow. It would be all trees and nothing else. I wouldn't be able to grow any vegetables and fruits. They wouldn't get enough sun from all the shade. The ones that really do well usually require sun or some sun. So I want to go back and think what it was like back then. You can do that, but I may not be able to put out a forest or the woods like it used to be back in the 1500s or 1600s, when maybe the Indians lived here and they could have had a little settlement here. I can't go back to those days, but I can create a forest, a food forest, and that's what we're going to work towards. Once that food forest is established, we're not going to be worrying as much about weeds. And once we have our soil enriched with the compost and go back to Eden, I'm picturing it will be amazing, and maybe the plants that die down will provide the compost on the ground, the compost and the mulch. So then we won't worry about weeds. The weeds can be eliminated over time by good growth of plants that you want in your garden and your food forest. But they'll still come up. They're still going to come up no matter what. Don't stress over the weeds. Just enjoy your garden and make the most of it. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next one.